Right, on to the last question. I know I promised you that the last video was the last lap, but unfortunately events worked against me. So we're going to do section D separately. Again, as before, take a minute just to pause the video and just read the scenario. Okay, one question here, question 12. You'll see that it's talked about the project team have got the task of creating and implementing a loyalty scheme. And the first part of question 12 is explain two advantages to the project team. Notice it's bolded the project team, so it's the advantages to them of following the project life cycle when creating and implementing the loyalty scheme. 4 marks for this, and it's an explain question. So remember, whenever you see explain, you have to give a reason for why something is so. So 2 advantages, each of them gets 2 marks, which gets you to 4 marks. So let's think why it might be a good idea to use the project life cycle. So number 12, part A. So first of all, obviously, by using the project life cycle, everything becomes much more organized. So if we were just to put down that all tasks are more organized, that's a start, but not really an explanation. So you've said that gets you 1 mark. Now we need to explain that. Why is that useful? So that each one is done in the correct order. There you go. So we've given a reason, but now we've explained that reason. So if you like, we can imagine this the other way round with the word because in it. Each task is done in the correct order because they are more organized. So that is an explanation. 1 mark, 2 marks. Let's think of another one. Well, let's think about time. So time, so each task is given a specific amount of time. There's one thing about the project life cycle. We organize it so we know how long each task should take. So that's 1 mark. Now we explain that. So you know how long the whole project will take. There we go. 1 mark for making a statement, 1 mark for giving it an explanation. Think of it again the other way around with the word because. You know how long the whole project will take because each task is given a specific amount of time. 2 marks for an explanation. Let's give you a bonus one. Think about this from the point of view of the project team themselves. Remember, the question asked you the advantages to the project team. So each task is allocated to specific people, so everyone in the team knows what they are doing. Again, you're saying what's an advantage and why that advantage is true. So there you go. Any of those 3 answers would be fine. You could also describe any one of the project phases and say how that makes a benefit for the team members themselves. It's no good just describing the phase. You have to say why that phase helps the team member to make things work better. Right, one last part, part B. Identify 2 disadvantages to the project team of using mind maps as a planning tool for the loyalty scheme. 2 marks. Identify, you merely have to make a statement. You don't have to justify it or give reasons. So part B, 2 reasons why mind maps may not be helpful for the project team. Now, mind maps are can sort of build up from the center and go out, and branches occur like this. What you're doing is you're looking at, in a sort of very open-minded way, about how what all the tasks are that could be done. One thing you're not doing is you're not saying when they'll be done. So one of the problems for a mind map is that it doesn't show timings for tasks. It only shows you what tasks are to be done. So one disadvantage. Second disadvantage that you might want to think about. Now, a number of people, when they did the answers to this, said that there wasn't enough detail. The problem actually is more likely to be there is too much detail. So a second problem might be it could be confusing because there is too much information. If you just wrote down too much information, that would be perfectly okay as an answer. So there's your 2 most obvious problems with a mind map. That's the end of the paper now, and I'll put I'll scan my notes in and put those onto the Google Classroom as well, so that you can see those.